Celebrity love stories often spark gossip, but some romances make audiences downright uneasy. Today we're counting down 20 relationships where the age gap was so wide it drew gasps, headlines, and, in many cases, outrage. Number 1, Hugh Hefner, 84, and Crystal Harris, 24. When Playboy founder Hugh Hefner announced his engagement to playmate Crystal Harris in 2010, the 60-year gap became late-night joke fodder overnight. Harris first met Hefner during a Halloween party at the mansion when she was barely out of her teens. She soon moved into the estate and co-starred on The Girls Next Door, where their romance was packaged as another chapter in Hefner's endless bachelor narrative. Critics argued the power imbalance was extreme. Hef wrote her allowance checks, controlled the mansion, and essentially employed his future wife. Crystal briefly called off the wedding 5 days before the ceremony, citing suffocating publicity, yet reconciled and finally tied the knot on New Year's Day, Year's Eve, 2012. By then, Hef's health was fragile, prompting speculation that the marriage was as much about securing Harris's financial future as companionship. Whatever the motives, the image of an octogenarian groom beside a bride barely old enough to rent a car became modern shorthand for uncomfortable celebrity age gaps. Number 2, Al Pacino, 83, and Noor Al-Fallah, 29. News broke in 2023 that Al Pacino's girlfriend, Noor Al-Fallah, was expecting his 4th child, and Hollywood performed a collective double-take. The Oscar-winning legend had already cemented his reputation in classics like The Godfather decades before Noor was born. Their 54-year gulf meant Pacino was older than his partner's grandfather, yet tabloids soon featured photos of the pair at art exhibits and Italian restaurants. Commentators framed the coupling as another example of influential men pursuing partners at vastly different life stages. Pacino's representatives stressed his excitement about fatherhood, but skeptics highlighted his heart issues and cane-assisted walks while joking about kindergarten graduations in 2030. Internet memes compared the couple to grandparents and grandchildren. Things grew stranger when Pacino reportedly requested a paternity test, fueling accusations of mistrust. Noor called him her soulmate and praised their shared love of cinema and philosophy. Yet for many observers, the gap remained jaw-dropping proof that even in his 80s, Pacino lives by a script few can fathom. Number 3, Mick Jagger, 81, and Melanie Hamrick, 37. Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger has spent 60 years defying age, but his romance with former American ballet theater ballerina Melanie Hamrick truly stretches the concept. They met backstage in Tokyo in 2014, shortly after Jagger's longtime partner Loren Scott died. Chemistry blossomed, and in 2016 they welcomed son Devereaux, Jagger's 8th child. A 44-year gap means Jagger was performing Satisfaction before Melanie's parents were born, and Devereaux's niece is older than his own father. Critics wonder how long a relationship can thrive when one partner perfects pirouettes while the other manages arthritic hips between stadium dates. Financial disparity fuels debate, too. Jagger's $500 million fortune contrasts a dancer's modest earnings. Yet insiders say shared creativity bridges the generations, with Jagger advising Melanie on dance productions while she leads his warm-ups. For now, Instagram shows two artists in sync, evidence perhaps that charisma and rhythm can drown out even the loudest ticking clock. Number 4, Dennis Quaid, 70, and Laura Savoy, 31. Hollywood nice guy Dennis Quaid surprised many by proposing to doctoral student Laura Savoy in 2019 after mere months of dating. Their 39-year chasm invited instant comparison to Quaid's son Jack, slightly older than his new stepmother. Meeting at a Waikiki business event, the pair bonded over faith and fitness, yet skeptics pointed to Quaid's fame and wealth creating a built-in imbalance. Fans weaned on the Parent Trap struggled with the optics of a grandfather-aged groom starting fresh with someone who grew up streaming his movies. The seaside ceremony during early pandemic shutdowns added an odd fairy tale isolation to their vows. Quaid jokes about rotary phones, a tech reference Laura barely recognizes, while she shares TikTok tips. For outsiders, it's another chapter in Hollywood's endless tale of middle-aged men and 30-ish brides. Number 5. Bill Wyman, 47, and Mandy Smith, 13, when they met. Few romances shocked Britain like Rolling Stones bassist Bill Wyman courting schoolgirl Mandy Smith in the mid-80s. Meeting at a London nightclub, Wyman began a secret courtship featuring lavish gifts and chaperone trips. Tabloid exposure ignited national debates on grooming, yet Smith's parents permitted the relationship, and the pair wed in 1989 when she turned 18. Their honeymoon headlines eclipsed even Stone's tour news. Health issues, stress, and lost adolescence haunted Mandy, who divorced Wyman within 2 years, and later became an outspoken advocate for abuse survivors. The saga remains a textbook example of fame distorting consent and shielding adults from accountability when minors are involved. Number 6. David Foster, 74, and Katharine McPhee, 39. Grammy Titans. David Foster mentored Katharine McPhee during her 2006 American Idol run, yet few predicted a future marriage. 13 years later, the duo's London nuptials crowned a 35-year gap love story. Foster's shift from mentor to husband raised eyebrows. He'd guided McPhee's early career decisions, and critics labeled the romance an industry daddy trope. Supporters highlight genuine musical synergy. She sings on his concerts. He produces her albums. In 2021, their son Rennie arrived, prompting Foster to joke he'll still hit high notes at 90. Whether seen as inspirational or imbalanced, their relationship spotlights the thin line between mentorship and romance in showbiz. Number 7. Doug Hutchison, 51, and Courtney Stodden, 16. When character actor Doug Hutchison married teen beauty queen Courtney Stodden in 2011, pop culture entered a carnival of cringe. With parental consent, a 35-year gap became a reality TV spectacle full of lollipop photo shoots and bubble bath interviews. Agents dropped Hutchison. Talk show hosts questioned everything. On Couples Therapy, Stodden confessed missing prom, while Hutchison defended his child bride jokes. Multiple separations led to a 2020 divorce, after which Stodden labeled the relationship predatory and advocated raising marriage age laws. Hutchison blamed cancel culture. Their saga remains a warning that legal loopholes can fail adolescents when fame-seeking adults collide with permissive parents. Number 8. Woody Allen, 56, and Soon-Yi Previn, 21. The 1992 discovery of nude Polaroids of Soon-Yi Previn on Woody Allen's mantle detonated one of Hollywood's biggest scandals. Soon-Yi was the adopted daughter of Allen's longtime partner, Mia Farrow, blurring boundaries between parental figure and lover. Amid custody battles and abuse allegations, Allen and Soon-Yi retreated to Europe, marrying in 1997. Decades later, they remained together with 2 daughters, claiming shared love of literature and travel. Supporters cite longevity. Detractors insist grooming cannot be excused. Each award season, renewed debate proves that the 35-year gap and unconventional family dynamics still haunt Allen's legacy. Number 9. Charlie Chaplin, 53, and Una O'Neill, 18. Silent film genius. Charlie Chaplin added fresh controversy in 1943 by marrying Una O'Neill, teenage daughter of playwright Eugene O'Neill. A 35-year divide disgusted critics already wary of Chaplin's politics, yet their union endured, producing 8 children and lasting until Chaplin's 1977 death. Biographers note Una abandoned acting dreams to serve as Chaplin's muse and caregiver, raising questions about autonomy. Modern scholars debate whether her self-effacement enabled Chaplin's late career masterpieces or masked subservience, and new documentaries keep revisiting archives, ensuring moral questions around their bond persist nearly 80 years later. Number 10. Roman Polanski, 43, and Samantha Geimer, 13. In 1977, director Roman Polanski lured Samantha Geimer to a photo shoot at Jack Nicholson's house that ended in tragedy. Polanski pleaded guilty to unlawful intercourse with a minor but fled the U.S. before sentencing, transforming a 30-year age gap tragedy into a decades-long fugitive saga. Extradition efforts continue in the 2020s, with victims' rights groups protesting each festival honoring Polanski. The case remains a stark reminder that star power can insulate perpetrators even when age differences cross criminal lines. Number 11. Nicolas Cage, 57, and Rico Shibata, 27. Oscar winner. Nicolas Cage surprised fans with a fifth marriage in 2021 to Japanese actress Rico Shibata. Meeting in a Kyoto bar, they bonded over rare books and pet squirrels. A courtship culminating in a Las Vegas ceremony where Shibata wore a black kimono. A 30-year gap drew commentary about wealth and career imbalance, but supporters note, Cage seems calmer and more grounded. Fatherhood at 58 and Shibata's enthusiasm for manga create a quirky generational bridge, yet tabloids still frame their union as Hollywood's latest May-December spectacle. Number 12. Leonardo DiCaprio, 48, and Eden Polani, 19. Photos of Leonardo DiCaprio seated beside 19-year-old model Eden Polani at a 2023 party ignited social media, reinforcing memes tracking his alleged under-25 rule. A 29-year gap might seem modest here, but the recurring pattern fuels discomfort. Fans who idolize teenage Jack Dawson now watch a middle-aged climate activist apparently recycling girlfriends barely out of high school. DiCaprio's silence perpetuates speculation, cementing his reputation as Hollywood's most consistent age gap headline generator. Number 13. Dane Cook, 51, and Kelsey Taylor, 24. Comedian Dane Cook's engagement to fitness instructor Kelsey Taylor in 2022 spotlighted a 27-year divide. They met when Taylor was 19 during a game night Cook hosted for young social media creators. Cook addresses the gap in stand-up routines, joking she teaches him Gen Z slang while he introduces her to 90s rock. Critics question power dynamics and career clout, yet Taylor appears unfazed, flooding Instagram with workout videos featuring Cook's clumsy TikTok moves. Whether adorable or awkward, their romance proves real life often supplies comedians with their most divisive material. Number 14. Celine Dion, 19, and Renee Angelil, 45. Celine Dion met manager Renee Angelil at 12 when he mortgaged his house to fund her debut. By 19, mentorship evolved into a secret romance, and their 1994 televised wedding cemented a fairy tale image despite the 26-year gap. Angelil controlled contracts, appearances, and even wardrobe, creating dependency critics still debate. Devotion lasted until his 2016 death, producing 3 sons and countless hits. Yet modern audiences question whether Dion sacrificed youthful autonomy for career success, turning their story into a case study on where support ends and undue influence begins. Number 15. R. Kelly, 27, and Aaliyah, 15. The clandestine 1994 marriage between R. Kelly and protege Aaliyah, based on a forged certificate listing her as 18, remains a chilling example of industry complicity. Aaliyah's debut album, disturbingly titled Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, foreshadowed the scandal. Her family annulled the union within months, yet revelations in later documentaries linked this episode to Kelly's decades-long pattern of abuse, culminating in 2021 convictions. Aaliyah's tragic 2001 death froze her legacy at 22, while the saga endures as a cautionary tale of power, grooming, and lost innocence. Number 16. Elvis Presley, 24, and Priscilla Beaulieu, 14. Stationed with the army in Germany, Elvis met 9th grader Priscilla at a party in 1959. Through supervised visits and nightly calls, the king convinced her reluctant parents to allow the courtship. Priscilla moved to Graceland at 17 under strict rules, married Elvis at 21, and quickly entered motherhood. Critics argue she molded herself to satisfy Elvis's ideal, sacrificing adolescence and autonomy. Their 1973 divorce saw Priscilla forging an independent identity, but public fascination with the youthful bride persists, underscoring how star power can override parental caution. Number 17. Jerry Lee Lewis, 22, and Myra Gale Brown, 13. Jerry Lee Lewis's 1957 marriage to his 13-year-old first cousin once removed detonated his career. British reporters exposed the kinship and minor status, prompting tour cancellations and plummeting record sales. Lewis claimed Southern tradition. Myra later described confusion and domestic turmoil. The 1989 biopic Great Balls of Fire attempted to sanitize the saga, but reviewers slammed its comedic tone, reminding audiences that statutory misconduct is no punchline. The scandal remains a benchmark for how taboos can incinerate even the hottest rock and roll trajectory. Number 18. Luc Besson, 29, and Maïwenn Lebesco, 15. French director Luc Besson began dating aspiring actress Maïwenn after meeting her at a casting call. He moved her to Hollywood, orchestrated her image, and cast her in minor roles while she balanced motherhood at 16. A 14-year gap worsened when Besson left her for another teenage actress, Mila Jovovich, during The Fifth Element. Maïwenn later spoke of missed adolescence and controlling demands, while critics noted disturbing echoes between their relationship and Besson's hit Léon, The Professional. The story stands as Europe's stark reminder of blurred lines between artistry and exploitation. Number 19. Paul Walker, 33, and Jasmine Pilchard-Gosnell, 16. Fast and Furious star Paul Walker quietly dated surfer Jasmine Pilchard-Gosnell beginning in 2006, when she was 16. A 17-year gap drew limited media attention during Walker's life, but eagle-eyed fans noticed the teenager on red carpets. Friends described Walker as a laid-back gearhead who preferred quiet beach days, activities aligning with Jasmine's age. His 2013 death froze public perception, and many obituaries omitted the relationship, sparking later debate about selective legacy building. The episode shows how premature death can sideline critical reflection on uncomfortable age gaps. Number 20. Don Johnson, 22, and Melanie Griffith, 14. Actor Don Johnson met teen co-star Melanie Griffith on the 1972 film The Herod Experiment. Under her mother Tippi Hedren's cautious eye, the friendship turned romantic, and Griffith moved in with Johnson at 15. They married at 18, divorced 6 months later, reunited in the 80s, and welcomed daughter Dakota Johnson. An 8-year difference seems small numerically, but the relationship's foundation during Melanie's adolescence fuels ongoing discomfort. Griffith later linked early substance abuse to growing up too fast, while Johnson alternates between defense and regret, proof that timing often matters more than simple arithmetic. These 20 stories prove that behind glittering headlines lurk troubling power dynamics. Whether the gap spans a decade or more than half a century, each case reminds us fame doesn't erase age, experience, or vulnerability. If this countdown opened your eyes, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss our deep dives into Hollywood's most jaw-dropping tales. Share this video with anyone who still thinks celebrity romance is always glamorous.